Peace and love, peace and love. I want y'all to hear this treason. North Atlantic Treaty Organization. I want you to hear them conspire against the American people in Congress. We are not black, African American, or colors. We are the American people. I want you to see them use 1866 black codes in Congress. North Atlantic Treaty Organization. This is the treason that we're dealing with.
To respond to that, I think the important thing is a collection of data needs to not be tied to any type of grant funding or anything like that, because agencies, that's counterproductive.
Do you believe that law enforcement, however, should not engage in racial profiling?
It's unconstitutional. I absolutely agree.
So any legislation that would make that simple?
It is unconstitutional. And he's absolutely right. But they use 1866 black codes, the 14th Amendment, artificial persons, straight out treason. It's against the Constitution. It's against Article 6 of the Constitution. Peace treaties shall be the supreme law of the United States. We, the American people, are up under 2 peace treaties. Now, you signed this contract in 1776. You created black codes and you amended the Constitution in 1866. The 14th Amendment, artificial person, is treason. 1866 black codes is treason. So how can you talk about the Constitution? Because the Constitution clearly states, Article 6, the debt you're not paying in peace treaties shall be the supreme law of the United States. And you're violating both of those. You're violating Article 6 of the Constitution. How can you even say anything about the Constitution when you are the one violating it? The amendments to the Constitution are not the Constitution. They are amendments. They are not the Constitution. The articles of the Constitution are the Constitution. So if you're talking about amendments, you're talking about commercial codes. Period. Has nothing to do with the American people. Why? Because Article 6, peace treaties shall be the supreme law of the United States. Period. If you violate those peace treaties, you're committing treason. And you violate the Treaty of Peace and Friendship and the 1880 Treaty of Madrid. You are treasonous, even in Congress.
Point you could take back and support.
I think the Constitution is very clear that it is illegal, and it's already on. It's there. It exists.
So then it would not be offensive to have legislation that provides grants and opportunities to ensure that does not happen.
I think it's unconstitutional. The law is already spoken.
I take that as a yes, and I thank you for that. Let me ask the question to Mr. Blake. Do you? We're speechless, but we're also speechless for the lives lost, whose names I will call. Clearly, you were racially profiled. Did you have an encounter, a language, a comment, ask who your name was, or anything of the sort?
No, I don't have time in my opening remarks, but I didn't have any sort of fight or flight response. I actually, if you watch the video closely, which we don't need to do again, but I was actually smiling. It was due to my previous life as a tennis player. I actually was under the misguided opinion that this may have been someone coming to give me a hug or a fan in some regard, and I find myself extremely lucky because I thought of what could have possibly happened had I thought this was someone coming to do me harm. After speaking to many officers since then, I asked them what would have happened if I put my arms up, if I had actually made an effort to fight, or if my brother or one of my best friends was with me, or my wife, and had acted in any way accordingly.
You were clearly a man of color standing in front of a prominent hotel in downtown in Manhattan.
In Manhattan, 42nd, right outside Grand Central Station.
She just committed treason in Congress. She called him a man of color. That's a violation of Title 18. 242. Deprivation of rights under the color of law. That's 1866 Black Codes. Man of color. That's a violation of Title 18. 241. Conspiring to deprive anyone of their rights under the color of law. When she said a man of color, she committed treason because he's an American, not a man of color, unless he's a half-breed. If he's a half-breed, then she's right. He's a man of color. He's still an American state citizen. Period. Those codes do not apply to anyone. Those color codes, white, black, man of color, African American, none of that applies to anyone on this land. You're either an American state, as I am, or you're considered an American state citizen, which everyone else is that is not indigenous to this land. The ancestry is from somewhere else. That's just what it is, according to the Constitution.
And had something else happen, I would
We
feel.
need to pass the end racial profiling among other very important legislative initiatives.
Yes, absolutely, because it
Can I
happens
ask-
far too often.
Thank you. Can I ask Dr. Goff, because of my time, let me respect all the witnesses. Let me as well thank Ms. Garcia for indicating it's black and brown, it's women, it's other individuals that may be profiled.
Treason again. North Atlantic Treaty Organization. This is what we are going for. The genocide. By our own. By our own. Our own people are committing genocide and treason against us using 1866 Black Codes, slave codes, Jim Crow law. North Atlantic Treaty Organization, you heard them, that's in Congress. So, it is what it is. What are you going to do, North Atlantic Treaty Organization? Are you going to continually watch this genocide against the American people? Or are you going to step in honorably and do something about these treasonous dogs?